What's up, guys? So I was watching a video earlier today about prayer, and I really didn't think about it until I heard this person say this, and it didn't really cross my mind, and it probably doesn't really cross your mind because we see it every day. People post their prayers on Facebook, Instagram, Truth Social, wherever you could post. Wherever you can post a post, X, people post their prayers and tell you that these are the prayers that you should use when you go to bed. Like, re-say this prayer when you go to bed. And I never really thought about that, but when you go to bed, your prayer should be your prayer. You're talking to Jesus, not Bob's post from Facebook of you talking to Jesus. You're telling Bob's prayer when you go to bed. God wants you to speak to him with your own prayer, with your own words, with your own things. Not what Bob's prayer is. Yes, you can use Bob's prayer to help you to make your prayer mean more, but don't just go to bed and tell Bob's prayer. You can add some of Bob's stuff to your prayer when you speak to Jesus, but you should not do it just because it's Bob's prayer. God wants to hear what we got to say, what's going on with our day, what we want help with, what we need help with, who we want to I got to stop saying that word. Even though it's not really a cuss word, I don't like it, and I say it a lot. I'm starting to get where I don't cuss very much, but I'm using the word freaking a lot, and it's aggravating me. It's aggravating me. But anyways, he wants to hear what we got to say, guys. He wants to hear the words that are going to come out of our mouth to him. Not what somebody else has to say, because he's already heard that prayer from that person. He hasn't heard your prayer from you. Does that make sense? Because I had never really thought about that until I seen this video today. And I've said other people's prayers. But me and my mom were having a discussion about this because I went and asked her what she thought about it. And she said she agrees, but we listened to the preacher's prayer when we're at the church. And I said, I don't think that's the same. Because Bob's putting his post on the internet for us to read to help us to sleep at night. The preacher is not telling us to use his prayer when we go to sleep. The preacher is just giving us a prayer after he gives us a servant at his church, at the church that you go to. So I don't think his prayer is the same as Bob's prayer. If that makes any sense. You're not going to remember every word that the preacher said, go home and use that same prayer when you go to sleep. You might remember some of it, but you're not going to do that. I think when you go to bed and you make that prayer, and sometimes people even have a prayer when they get up, I think that those prayers should be words coming out of your mouth, not somebody else's. What do you guys think? Let me get your opinions in the comment section of what you think about prayer. Love to hear what you got to say. Like, comment, and share, guys. And we'll see you in the next video.